Hi fellas, nice back here again with another quick inbox review, and this time we're looking at ICM's MiG 25PD. This is the fighter version. Okay, it's a massive, big, deep box. All right, and believe it or not, all this plastic cost me 38 quid. £38 from when I went to the Bolton model show. Okay, now I have looked online, and believe it or not, that is roughly what you would pay online for it, maybe £40. So I'm not being funny, this box is what, let's have a look, it's 42 centimeters long and at least about 10 centimeters deep. All right, and it's full of plastic. The actual model itself, when it's fully built, will be 465 millimeters long. That's nearly half a meter, and a wingspan of just shy of 30 centimeters. So it's not a small kit. Okay, it's not going to be a small model. This is in 48. Right. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to quickly prise it open. Okay. Because it's too big to go underneath where I have my camera. So the only downside I've so far found with this box, okay, is that it was a nightmare to actually get the box out. As you can see, I'm struggling now. Okay, so it's got a box cover. Okay, you can see I had to break one corner to try and get it off. And if you just have a look, so I can just see everything on there. There are, I think, is it 2 schemes in here? We'll have a look when we get into the decal. So that's the box itself, but it comes in a really sturdy closed top box. So I'll just open it out. So it's like a hinged lid, and you get all that plastic. Alright, so what I'm going to do, we're going to swap over to the overhead camera and we'll take a look. So just to start with, alright, you'll be able to see that, but it's all jammed in there, okay? But we'll open that in just a minute. We'll start with the instructions as per usual. It's a nice A4 booklet with the colour calls out. I am a shoot, not colour calls out, a little bit of a blurb in Russian and obviously in English with a nice in-flight build, a rendering of the actual bird in question. We've then got colours in Revel and Tamiya. Revel's a little bit awkward, and then again in Russia and English. Okay, so we've got the Tamiya, Revel on both sides. Alright, and then we've got a lovely big Sprue Map. Okay, so A, B1, D, B2, G, C, H times 2, E, and then F. Alright, so you'll have to bear with me, fellas, because this is a big old booklet. So obviously, as with most aircraft, we start in the cockpit. Alright, so some cockpit walls going on, and then the cockpit walls then get put onto the side of the fuselage with bulkheads, and then what looks like the undercarriage, which I'm not too keen about this bit going in. Then I will have to take a look at that when I come to build it, see whether I can put the undercarriage on afterwards, because it might be one of those that will slot in, and it's very possible that it could if we have a look just here, because it's sandwiching, so it might just slot down. Okay, so that's the wheel bay going in. Some more the actual controls pedals, a seat with the emergency pull handles and the instrument panel, and going through just like that. So 16 parts on that page. We then move on to the next page, and again some more detail with the cockpit. You can actually see there should be a little bit detail actually on the seat, okay, as it goes into the cockpit. Again, doing the cockpit walls and fixing it to the actual a bulkhead, so that's the part of the nose that slots in. Then we come on to the actual air intakes with the compressor fan, not compressor fans, where they are to control the air going in and out on both sides, which then slot onto the actual side of the nose. And so there's a before and after, and then again putting a bit more actually onto the thing. So we've got some ducting with some compressor fans in there that then go on back of the air intakes. What I think is the belly, okay, with some, I don't know whether the clear parts or what, but we'll have a look at that when we come to it. And then some more parts that look like they are the main wheel wells, okay, and slotting onto there, which then slot into the actual roof of the, no, it's the belly of the actual aircraft itself, and then the whole nose section you just built slots onto that part. And then move on to the main undercarriage legs, okay, and where they go on. Some parts for the engine, I would assume, okay. Again, the other leg going on to the other side. Okay, and then the side of the fuselage sandwiching against the wall on both sides. One of these massive big tails, okay, on one side, and then putting the control surfaces and other bits and pieces on. And then we move on to the actual engines themselves going together with the I don't know, the rings, the engine rings, I don't know what they're called, with some of the blades going on. So that whole page is to actually building the engines. And then the engine's actually going in, and the aircraft's spine dropping down onto the actual aircraft, which could be a problem. You'd have to make sure you do lots of test fitting to get all this in correctly, because then the actual tails go onto the aircraft itself, and then the other side, and obviously going into the other one, okay. And then some sort of, I don't know what it is, a sensor or whatever in the tail. Wings going together with some wing guides, and the weapons pylons going on, and then the wings and the tails going slotted into the aircraft, both sides. And then the nose, and again 25 grams needs to go in that nose. It's quite a big area by the looks for it. The only problem is it's a two-part nose, so you've got to have sandwich together, sand it, make sure it's all right, put the weight in, and then let that set. Putting the gear doors on and some other bits and pieces. No, they're all the gear doors. And then we start looking at wheels and wheels and other bits. Yeah, that's the wheel, like hubcap type thing. A lot of Russian aircraft have a mud guard on, okay. And then the two front wheels, and the wheels actually going on themselves. The big belly tank going together and going on down the centre of the aircraft, and then some of the missiles and what have you, the rockets and the weapons loadouts, and then attaching them all to the actual aircraft, whichever one you want to do. All right, and then we've got the canopy going on, and also the canopy open or closed, just there. And then we can see the actual aircraft all finished. Okay, that's what it should look like. Then we start with the stencil data. This is, there's 100 decals, but not necessarily all those will go on here. But as you can see, there's plenty we're going on with. All right, and then we have got a MiG from MiG-25 from the 146th Guard Fighter Regiment, Volskov 1989. There we are. Again, just a grey colour scheme. And then we've got a Soviet Air Force 1986. And then we've got a Iraqi Air Force, late 80s, and a Libyan Air Force in the 90s. So we've got 4 to build. Yeah, they're all the boring grey, but again, this aircraft would lend itself to quite a lot of weathering. So we've got all that, and we'll have a look in the actual bag. Okay. Come on out, and we'll just lay them down that way. So we've got quite a lot to be going on with, so we'll just start from the top and we'll work our way down. So these parts are the upper and lower, the upper and lower of the actual aircraft itself, and it's got some nice rivet detail, okay, along the belly. Again, some nice recess detail, all looks relatively sharp. The wheel wells, that side again, some nice rendering on there. The cockpit parts, okay. I can't see any injection molding that would be in a injection pin marks that would be a problem to get rid of on that one. Next up is this massive tank. There we are. Look at those location points to be able to actually physically shove it up in there. Okay, so that you can make that absolutely filthy. Just look at the size of it. Okay, we turn it over, and again we've got some lovely detail. Look, you can just see the detail in there of one of the wheel wells. All right, so they have gone to town on getting some lovely detail in there. The engine parts nicely protected, so they don't get damaged. All looking really nice. Then we've got the lovely great big tails. Okay, you can see the detail on the tail parts. Okay, and the wheels. All right, like on the real aircraft. Raised ribbon. Pity it's the 2-part, but they shouldn't be too much to get rid of. The seam line, and then we've got some of the actual cockpit instrument panels just there and there. Okay, so again, some nice detail on here. The tailplanes, all one piece. The weapons loadout, we have 2 of these sprues. Okay, so we'll have the great big fins for some of the rockets, the weapons. I'm not a modern aircraft buff, so I don't even know what half these do, but there's some nice detail on there. Alright, so it'd be interesting and quite, well, I don't know if it'd be enjoyable or not, but it'd be interesting to see what they build up like to go onto the aircraft. And like I said, there's 2 of those. And we'll move on to the side. So part of the side of the actual aircraft, and the side of the nose, and the intake parts. This bit, okay. Again, some nice detail in the engine parts. The seat detail, Okay, on the back you can see just there. Okay, I think that'll be the headrest and the bottom of the seat and all that sort of stuff. So there should be some lovely detail there. And there's the back of the seat and the actual control stick. We then move on to the nose. So you can see you've got that's a massive chunk of plastic for the nose, so you'll be able to get plenty of weight in there to make sure it doesn't turn into a tail sitter. We've got the fans for the engine, some nice rivet detail on there again. The other rings and those fins I was on about. Now we've got the control panel, again some nice detail on there. The pitot tube, which I'll probably might replace that one for a metal one if I'm honest, whichever one it'll be, it's because that'll just get damaged. You're probably going to have to plug that nose because the hole goes straight through for when you put your weight in. And then two lovely big wing sections. Okay, so one obviously will be the top and one's the bottom, with the those fins that go into these areas, and again some nice lovely detail. Okay, they're not too shallow at all for my liking, and yeah, looks lovely. Okay, next up we've got another bag with the clear parts in. I'll just open this part. So we've got some clear parts for the instrument panel. I wonder if there's a decal for it. So the decal will go on the back there, and then that gets sandwiched in between the plastic parts that we saw and the actual cockpit. Canopy and windshield are absolutely lovely. They're crystal clear, and I always like when they put the bit that's meant to be painted, it's a little bit rough because it makes things easier, bit easier to paint, and they've done it on this part as well, and you can actually see the lovely rivet detail on there. It's absolutely superb. Okay, so that's that bit, just put that over there, and then we move on to the actual decals. Now for my liking, these are a bit shiny. I don't know if you can see some of the carrier film. It's rather big, so they're not overly thick, so they might bed down quite nicely. We'd have to wait for those. The main ones, okay, again the carrier film's quite close on the main ones, all right, but again they're not overly thick, so it's just a case of seeing how they go. So that is ICM's MiG 25, and it looks absolutely lovely. Now I know through my friends from YouTube have had ICM kits, mainly armour kits, and they're not overly impressed with them. Looking at this kit, okay, as long as you take care, it should build up into a lovely looking MiG 25. Now it's big brother, I should say. It's younger brother, the MiG 31, which is the one that follows on this, because this one, it had a lot of problems, so they had to go back to the drawing board more or less, and that's what the MiG 31 was. It was a younger brother of this. A lot of those problems ironed out, I believe. But again, I'm not a modern era person. I say modern era, anything from the 1950s onwards. I'm not, it's not my area of expertise. So I could be, trying total porkies. I don't know. But just looking at this kit, it looks absolutely stunning. It looks really, really good, and I'm looking forward to actually cracking it open and getting it built. Alright, so that's my thoughts on this kit, fellas. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.